Good evening and welcome. You're watching the 7 o'clock news on CNC3. I'm Ria Rambali.
I'm Ryan Bechu.
I am Jassi Marique with the sport.
And I'm Sigoni Mohammed with your weather report.
Let's study what's making the news tonight. Prime Minister saddened by toddlers killing, but she says an SOE curfew is not being considered.
The Defense Minister links yesterday's triple murder in Belmont to last month's Morva killings, with both tragedies leaving children dead.
One day after triple murder shook Belmont, students and teachers marched for peace, saying Belmont is love.
Ahead in sport.
You cannot develop football players, boys and girls, in 3 months.
A former SSFL standout renews calls for a longer season.
In the Caribbean, even the quickest showers know how to make an entrance. I've got details on that and much more in the full forecast.
A major revelation in the lower house today as Defense Minister Wayne Stewart reveals that 23-month-old Akini Kafi's murder and the incident which led to a 9-year-old's killing in April are connected.
Sturge said he has been reliably informed that Akini Kafi and 2 others were killed in a reprisal attack. The Defense Minister also fired back at former National Security Minister Stuart Young, who called for his resignation yesterday.
Akash Samaru has more.
It started as murmurings yesterday from within the community in the aftermath of the bloodbath. But today there's confirmation from within the Parliamentary chamber that young Akini Kafi's life was snatched away during a retaliatory strike.
The murders yesterday are connected to the murders in Lady Young, the quadruple murder. It's connected. So, and we know where they are from. We know. We've seen all the wakes and all the crying.
2 incidents, 2 children dead. On April 19th, 9-year-old Jelena Armstrong was among 4 people shot and killed in Morva. And now the Defense Minister is linking Thursday's triple murder in Belmont to that incident.
You want to know how I know? It took place 100 meters from where I grew up.
Apart from boldly claiming that most of the murders in the country are committed by Stuart Young's Port of Spain North St. Anne's West residents,
his constituents are largely responsible for the most murders in this country.
The Defense Minister sought to underscore that both the Belmont and Morva killings took place in PNM-controlled areas.
The same way you wouldn't know when your constituents are going to murder some of your other constituents a street away, you expect us to know?
It was at this point Stuart Young had enough.
I've sat here and I've listened to the gibberish and the verbal diarrhea from the member for Toko Sangran.
Minister Sturge eventually moved on, but he did not forget that it was just yesterday that MP Young called for the resignations of both himself and the Homeland Security Minister.
When 11 murders take place under his watch in one day, has the gall to come and call for resignations on this side.
The Defense Minister called on the lower house to take note that not once did MP Young refute anything that he said on Thursday's murders. Akash Samaru, CNC3 News.
Well, Stuart Young responded soon after and said he will request a copy of Minister Wayne Sturge's contribution in the Parliament to forward to the Police Commissioner.
Young said the minister has admitted to knowing who committed the murders. Young, meanwhile, denied having the same knowledge.
Well, given the opposition's requests, today we asked, do you support their calls for the national security ministers to be fired in light of the rising murder toll?
Here's what you had to tell us.
I will say no, because the gentleman in any position.
It don't make sense, because, I mean, murder is murder, right? No one person could really stop what's going on in somebody's mind. You understand? So if they put somebody else, I don't think that will make a difference, you know.
No way. He's doing a very good job. And he will keep on doing a very good job. And at the end of the day, it depends on the people to make sure that we could protect the family.
Nah, I don't believe so, man. Well, yeah, they tell everybody still did a chance, you know, to see what they could do. And after that, we could take it from there.
I wouldn't necessarily agree with it because he's not putting the guns in the hands of the criminals, whatever the case may be, right? So I wouldn't say they should fire him, but they should have different what to put it, boy? It should implement different solutions in which they could tackle the crime rate.
No, because the man that do the crime, the man that do the work there.
Yes.
Why?
Because I don't think they're really doing nothing for the country, so it doesn't matter.
Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar says she's heartbroken over the recent triple killing in Belmont that claimed the lives of toddler Akini Kafi, his father Akil Kafi, and Anthony Wilson.
Responding to questions at Parliament today following the official visit of Dr. Subramaniam Jaishankar and an MOU and laptop handover ceremony, the Prime Minister expressed sadness over the deaths, particularly that of the 23-month-old child. She lamented every life lost is a heartbreak to many, and especially when it is a child. The Prime Minister noted that law enforcement officials are doing the best they can to get behind the tragedy and extended condolences to the families. Persad-Bissessar also confirmed that no active consideration is being given at this time to implement a curfew to strengthen the ongoing state of emergency. Well, in the aftermath of the triple murder that took the life of 23-month-old Akini Kafi, the Homeland Security Minister claims that people of Belmont are annoyed that the Zoso legislation never became law.
Minister Roger Alexander told Parliament today that following major tragedies, he usually visits communities and speaks with residents. According to the minister, Belmont residents told him they want the area declared a zone of special operations, saying the measure could bring social programs aimed at addressing the root causes of crime. He added that strong policing operations are still continuing in the area.
However, Mr. Speaker, the increase in patrols, intelligence gathering, identification of persons who committed the offense, and persons are now hiding from the law enforcement officers. However, Mr. Speaker, again, everything will be done to protect the citizens, even those in Lavantil.
Well, the minister said on the morning of the incident, a significant police presence was in Oropoon conducting a large operation, and officers had to be redeployed to Belmont. Well, Antonio Kafi remains in critical condition tonight after a deadly ambush in Belmont.
Police said the 36-year-old mother was among 4 people in a silver Toyota Aqua heading along Upper St. Francois Valley Road to drop off her son Akini at daycare. A car blocked their path and 2 gunmen opened fire. Akil Kafi and Anthony Wilson died at the scene. Despite her injuries, Antonia took her bleeding toddler and ran downhill, screaming for help. A resident rushed them to hospital where she remains warded in critical condition. A Belmont teenager was shot in the leg during what police first described as a drive-by this afternoon.
The 16-year-old from Waterman Lane told officers he was at St. Francois Plannings around 3 p.m. when gunmen opened fire. He was taken to hospital and remains in stable condition.
But when CNC3 News visited the housing complex, residents denied hearing gunshots. Some claimed the teen may have been handling a firearm when it accidentally discharged. Police have not yet confirmed that account, saying investigations are ongoing.
Well, still to come in the news, business community reacts as Republic Bank mashes brakes on its fee increase.
UTT exams delayed following a massive cyber attack. The university assures students no data appears to be leaked.
Coming up in sport, Kenna Lewis punishes prison with the first century of the 2026 Trinidad T20 Festival.
Loving the flavors you get with Tetley. Loving the flavors you get with Tetley.
Wouldn't you just love a cup of Tetley tea right now? Dark, strong British blend to give you a good morning boost. Or Tetley decaf, all of the antioxidants, none of the caffeine. Losing weight or staying healthy your thing? Try Tetley green tea. Get the vitamins to boost your health with Tetley super teas. Or calm down with Tetley chamomile. Wouldn't you just love a cup of Tetley tea right now? Tetley, a tea for everyone.
Loving the flavors you get with Tetley, a tea for everyone. Tetley tea.
Distributed by AMCO, a subsidiary of Ansa Macau.
Outreach and stronger community engagement are urgently needed to confront what religious leaders describe as a deepening crisis of violence and declining moral values in Trinidad and Tobago. The call comes in the wake of yesterday's triple killing in Belmont. Faith leaders warn that the nation is slipping into a broader social, moral and spiritual breakdown driven by rising lawlessness and weakened community structures. President of the interreligious organization, Dr. Ellis Boris, is urging an expansion of outreach and education programs.
But what has happened there is appalling. And we are hoping that from a religious perspective, as I'm president of the IRO, that we can be able to increase our education program across the churches to encourage people to come towards God in a more meaningful way.
Nation of Islam leader Dr. David Muhammad warned that the Belmont killings represent a dangerous erosion of long-standing unwritten codes that historically discouraged attacks on women and children, even within criminal circles.
Group conflict, you have those who represent different groups and sets who don't even know each other, who have inherited conflict, but there have always been some measure of boundaries, limits, ethics even. There are those who break the law, but even do so with some measure of conscience.
He cautioned that if such boundaries are disappearing, Trinidad and Tobago could be entering an extraordinarily negative period in its social development. While the government is defending the effectiveness of the state of emergency, the opposition is rubbishing claims that a zone of special operations could have prevented the Belmont shooting that left a toddler dead.
They also insist the SOE itself is failing to curb crime. Doris Polo and Timothy Shasto report.
Police statistics continue to show a slight drop in murders under the state of emergency. 130 killings so far this year compared to 136 over the same period last year. But those numbers are now being tested by a deadly wave of violence, including Thursday's triple murder in Belmont that claimed the life of 23-month-old Akini Kafi. Still, the government insists the SOE is working.
The amount of murders have decreased. I know there are instances recently of, especially yesterday, but it doesn't mean that the state of emergency is not working.
But as questions grow over whether the measures are enough, the Attorney General offered no public defense of the SOE.
Do you feel confident in the SOE's ability to stem crime? Attorney General?
There was also no response to calls for a curfew, but the opposition says the government's security strategy has failed.
This state of emergency is a waste of time. It is an egregious trespass on the constitutional rights of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. It has had absolutely no effect, and the Prime Minister should immediately bring an end to this SOE charade because it is not working.
Former National Security Minister Stuart Young says the government has used its most powerful tool.
There is nothing worse that can be done to suspend our constitutional rights than a state of emergency. So if we're living under a state of emergency and it's not working, and we're seeing these sort of mass shootings, and you look at the number of shells afterwards, over 30, something is seriously wrong.
Inside the government, attention is shifting to ZOSO, with the opposition criticised for resisting the policy.
No, the people of Laventille didn't want any ZOSO through their minister, that's all.
Meanwhile, Minister in the Housing Ministry Philip Edward Alexander continued to defend his claim that a ZOSO could have prevented baby Akini's death. He also said the country as a whole must share responsibility.
We failed that little 2-year-old child, we as a nation failed. But we can't continue to push this under the rug and pretend that it is okay to say don't politicize crime.
But the opposition is taking him to task.
He's so dunce that he doesn't even understand what is in the bill. Because clearly, if anyone who understands what was in the proposed ZOSO would tell you that the state of emergency gives much more expansive powers to the state.
Marcel also criticised the government for failing to publicly distance itself from the comments.
Very unfortunate that if it's in fact not the view of the Honourable Prime Minister and her government, that they have not distanced themselves from these very unfortunate, disgusting and insensitive remarks.
Doris Polo, CNC3 News.
1 week after introducing increasing banking fees, Republic Bank says it is putting it on pause.
Meanwhile, the business community has expressed relief at the reprieve given by the bank. Peter Christopher reports.
In an ad published on Friday, Republic Bank says, quote, "We understand that any change to your banking costs causes concern, and we have noticed there has been some confusion about what these changes actually mean. Because we value your feedback, we have decided to pause the fee increases originally set for May 1st, 2026, end quote. The bank says it will share the new implementation dates with the public soon, and also clarifies that the increases would only apply to in-branch teller transactions and not for ATMs, online or mobile transactions, or paying with the bank's debit card. Business groups say there is some sense of relief that Republic Bank has taken this decision. President of the Greater San Fernando Area Chamber of Commerce, Kiran Singh, says the decision is welcomed, as it was clear that the move had negatively impacted the psyche of the country.
This comes at a welcome time. We know that the business community is languishing with a lot of increases across the board in many other services that they have to pay for.
However, President of the Chaguanas Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Baldat Maraj, says the decision prevents a potential domino effect within the banking sector, with other banks likely to follow RBL by increasing fees. But he takes pause on use of the word pause.
But by saying pause, it seemed to be a short-term reprieve. We can't understand why a financial institution reporting billions in profit would want to impose those additional burdens. And mind you, it's on an SME sector that presently navigating a steady and painful decline in sales.
Director of New Business for Agostini Group, Jean-Luc Moutet, says the economic climate facing customers has prompted adjustments in business strategy. Moutet shared this observation while speaking at the opening of the new Presto Umero location, which is the latest Linda's location to adopt a hybrid model. Moutet says the business community has had to look at various strategies to keep retail business viable. And now for a look at today's energy and foreign exchange prices. Peter Christopher, CNC3 Business Watch.
Contradicting reports from the government tonight on the status of the state's file on firearms dealer Brent Thomas. In March, Defense Minister Wayne Sturge told CNC3 News the file was missing.
However, today the opposition asked the Homeland Security Minister if the file was eventually found. But Minister Roger Alexander said that no file went missing. He added that file would not be at a government ministry, but rather with the police and the Director of Public Prosecutions. Opposition MP Marvin Gonzalez then asked the minister to explain why his statement did not align with what was said by Minister Wayne Sturge.
Having regard to the fact that a senior government minister informed the country that a file in relation to Brent Thomas has gone missing, are you saying that what the minister has told the country is not true?
Mr. Speaker, what I'm saying to the country is what I just said is true.
Well, the Brent Thomas controversy involves the unlawful abduction and forced return of a Trinidadian firearms dealer from Barbados to Trinidad and Tobago by police in October 2022.
CARICOM Security Agency facilitated the transfer, which led to a public rift between regional leaders over the legality of bypassing formal extradition protocols. Last year, Attorney General John Jeremy issued a public apology to the firearms dealer.
It seems to be a case of you did it, so we did it too. Today, the Public Utilities Minister defended the appointment of local government councillor Nicholas Kanhai to the position of Chief Executive Officer of MTS. Kanhai's appointment has been a cause of concern for Opposition Chief Whip Marvin Gonzalez, who questioned if due process was followed. However, Barry Padarath said that the former MTS CEO under the PNM administration was on the campaign trail with that party in 2025. He told Gonzalez that Kanhai is amply qualified and the government followed the process used by the PNM.
What was the process utilized for the appointment of the CEO of MTS?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, it was the same process that my colleagues used opposite when they were in government to appoint the acting CEO of MTS at this time.
Gonzalez asked if Kanhai is still a local government councillor. However, Padarath did not answer. The University of Trinidad and Tobago is assuring students that no major sensitive data appears to have been compromised following a massive cyber attack targeting its online learning platform.
The attack forced the university to temporarily shut down its Canvas learning management system last night, just hours before scheduled examinations today. As a result, exams have been postponed until next week. UTT Principal Professor Rian Maharaj says the institution itself was not directly hacked, but rather the external digital learning system used by thousands of tertiary institutions worldwide. He says preliminary investigations suggest only university-issued email addresses have been exposed. Meanwhile, Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, Professor Prakash Prasad, says he's satisfied with how the situation is being handled, while stressing the attack was not specifically aimed at UTT.
Let's tell you what's still to come in the news tonight. Police constable granted bail after he was caught removing evidence from Chaguanas police station.
After the break, find out which areas get to keep the sunshine and which ones don't on Mother's Day.
Mom, Dad, this is Trevor.
Hi. He's no Kieran.
Back up.
Fling?
That's why he crossed the road. It was funny when Kieran said,
"Oh, who could that be?"
We're like the parents who don't miss your ex.
I can't believe Kieran is in the neighborhood.
CG United. Good like that.
KC Gingermint, your trusted and natural wellness. Now with healthier options. KC Gingermint with honey and lime. KC Gingermint with orange and KC Gingermint with lemon. KC Ginger, honey, lemon, lime, and orange. Natural and trusted for generations for soothing sore throats and digestion and boost immunity. Get your new KC Candy Gingermint extended range today and breathe naturally.
Food Basket Marketplace, Arima, Chaguanas, Charfleur, and Goville. Everyday low prices. Clean and white bleach, 950 ml, $15. Blue Waters Cran Water, 1 liter, 2 for $15. Hibiscus all-purpose flour, 2 kilograms for $15. Box May cornmeal, 340 grams, $15. From fresh produce to pantry essentials and household items, visit Food Basket Marketplace, Arima, Chaguanas, Charfleur, and Goville. Food Basket Marketplace, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
This Mother's Day, give Mom something she'll truly appreciate every single day. Right now at Bright Ideas, we're bringing you massive deals across all locations. TVs from just $9.99. Twin-tub washers from $13.99. In the kitchen, fridges from $42.99 and stoves from just $16.99. Coffee makers from $125. Kettles from just $99. Blackout curtains 2 for $100. Towels 4 for $100. Bed sheets from $50. Glass sets as low as $22.99 and much more. Up to 50% off on all the flowers Mom will love. Don't wait till last minute. Come through and save. If it's not on special, it's 25% off. Lighting fixtures, bedding, mats, carpets, dinnerware, tableware, and much more. You're guaranteed to save. Visit any of our Bright Ideas locations nationwide today because Mom deserves more.
Teachers at Belmont Government Primary say yesterday's deadly attack hit painfully close to home, with one of the victims once sitting inside their classrooms. They are calling for more resources to help troubled children, while students themselves are demanding peace.
Today, they took that message to the Queen's Park Savannah. J.T. Kasing and Jensen Levent have this report.
Students, teachers and parents of Belmont Government Primary School walked around the Queen's Park Savannah today to promote peace and love. It comes a day after a past student and his son were among 3 killed. School principal Keisha King says while the walk of peace was planned long before gunmen murdered 23-month-old Akini Kafi, his father Akil, and his father's friend Anthony Wilson, it is timely. She says the school has been impacted by crime one way or another, including the murder of Monifa Kari, killed earlier this week in Princestown. Kari's son attended the school. 3 years ago, Kevin Moses was killed outside the Belmont police station, a short walk from the school. Moses was hired to drop off and pick up school children. King says the triple murder hit close to home, having taught Wilson.
What I can recall is based on experience at Belmont at Gloucester Lodge Moravian School. He would have been a child who we would have categorized as being that of special needs, and I guess the responsibility would have fallen on all of us, home, school, community, to aid this young man into being someone in society that can contribute positively.
She added that while she did not interact with Kafi, teachers spoke highly of him. As an educator, she says schools need the resources to assist troubled children.
I think if we have special ed persons in the schools, we have guidance counselors, social workers whose responsibilities are to investigate what's happening into the home. The guidance officers, they can provide the necessary counseling. The special ed teachers, they can assist teachers so that we can use differentiated instructions to instruct our students, as well as the wider social services in the country to assist.
And while Minister in the Ministry of Housing, Philip Alexander, believes that the failed to pass Zones of Special Operations Bill may have prevented Thursday's triple murder, community activist, past student and family friend to one of the victims, Mtima Solwazi, says otherwise.
We need the citizen security program to come back. It worked. The nation can tell you that. It worked. Why stop something that's working? To try to recreate something else that we don't know if it will work. We're talking Zozo. Let you talk CSP. Less letters, more effective.
No violence! No violence! What are we working for?
For the children, the walk was more than just an exercise, but a way to show their dissatisfaction with the level of crime in the country. Something PTA President Nigel Seeley says must be confronted on all levels, starting at home with the children. And for the children, they walked to share love. Despite the violence that has affected the school and community, one thing remains true.
Belmont is love. Belmont is love.
Jensen Lavend, CNC3 News.
Days after police shot and killed a suspect and arrested 2 others believed to be linked to a series of violent home invasions, there's some relief among Williamsville residents, but fear still lingers.
A 77-year-old resident who declined to go on camera said criminals have become increasingly brazen, and he applauded police for taking aggressive measures to stop them. We spoke with 2 residents who recounted the terrifying ordeals they faced during separate home invasions that occurred just hours apart on the same day. Still traumatized after being held at gunpoint and beaten, 67-year-old Joyce Mirage says she wants more police patrols in the area, but she doesn't know when or if she'll ever feel safe in her home again.
It's comforting to hear that they hold them or they kill one of them, but I still don't feel safe. I still do not feel safe because you can't sleep any night, you can't hear him. See, we had to get close, and everybody you see it jumpy. It was really terrifying.
Hours earlier, armed bandits also invaded the home of Feroz Khan in Reform Village while he and his children slept. During the ordeal, his 64-year-old ex-father-in-law was severely beaten.
I feel crime can never stop, in this country. Crime can never stop because it's coming from the higher heads. You understand? It's coming from the top, come down to the lower man.
Hours after these home invasions, police moved on a group of men in a yard at Union Park East, and two armed suspects reportedly confronted the officers, leading to a shootout in which one man was fatally shot.
Port of Spain City Corporation Chairman Alderman Wayne Griffith is speaking out days after he was violently attacked by students of the Tranquility Government Secondary School while trying to quell a fight. Recounting the assault, Griffith told CNC3 News it all began when he observed almost a dozen students, led by one female student, attacking a boy. He said as a father, elder, and the chairman of the corporation, he felt compelled to take action. But upon doing so, the students turned and started attacking him. He said one female student cuffed him in his mouth, and the others followed by throwing him to the ground and beating and robbing him. He said he was left with several minor injuries.
My both knees and my both elbows, there are abrasions on both palm of my hands. My left hamstring have a little problem with my mobility at this point in time. And getting little headaches off and on.
Griffith said during the ordeal he never lost sight that they were children and chose not to retaliate. However, he did make an official police report, and as investigations continue, he wants all students involved to be punished for their actions. He also thinks parents should be held accountable for the actions of their children.
There must be some punitive action that should come from this. I am not at all upset. I'm not vexed with these children because from where I sit, I think for most they are really misguided, and it's quite unfortunate. If we don't take action today, these same young people will be the future criminals.
Meanwhile, Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander noted that the students could be charged. 5 of them have since been suspended. Well, it's now time for the weather forecast with Sigoni, and it's a big weekend. It's Mother's Day this weekend. What can people expect if they're out celebrating?
Hopefully really good weather conditions. That's what we're looking for in this forecast, and it's going to be hot. Let me tell you that from now. Let's take a look at what's happening out there, because today we had high temperatures approaching 33 degrees Celsius in Trinidad and Tobago, coming in just over 31 degrees into this evening. Conditions are quite fair. It's not too bad. Temperatures are also dropping, and if we take a look at what those forecast temperatures are right now, look at this. As we approach midnight, temps are getting low. 23 degrees Celsius for parts of Sangre Grande, even Piarco. The Met Service is forecasting a low of 22 degrees Celsius into this evening's outlook, so we'll see if that happens or not. Tobago coming in at the mid-20s, however, in just a few areas in Trinidad. So not everywhere will be pulling the covers, but for those of you who do get that opportunity, just enjoy that cooler weather into this evening after all of that heat earlier today. Into the outlook for the weekend ahead, well, we do have a stable, dry air mass for most of the eastern Caribbean islands, and then we have some moisture rolling in the satellite imagery here. Now, the thing is that that moisture is really not impacting us at all. What we do have, because this is in the upper levels, it would produce a bit of cloudiness and add to that dull, hazy look that we have in the sky, but it's not producing showers. We also have some quick passing showers riding on the easterly trade winds, and that could bring in a quick sprinkle or two at times, maybe help to ease the heat, but not by much. So in this outlook, look at what's happening for Tobago. It is going to be hot. Temperatures tomorrow pushing into 32 degrees Celsius. By early next week, still remaining warm across the island, even in the nighttime period. We'll get some cloudiness developing, especially come Monday and into the remainder of the week ahead. It will be breezy and we'll have spotty showery activity from time to time. Mother's Day, some cloudiness, but it will give way to some sunshine and a lot of heat. If you're in Trinidad, look at what's happening here. 34 degrees Celsius, and we're seeing that temperature popping up a little bit, but the highs, that feels like temperature, will be approaching the upper 40s. If you're out and about, take it easy, all right? So just be mindful of what's happening out there. Find nice, cool, shady areas. Maybe you want to head to the beach. Do that into this weekend's forecast. But we still have cloudiness developing. Gentle breezes will be increasing and showers as well coming into the forecast. Here into early next week, the temperatures still hit the mid-20s into the overnight forecast. For those of you heading to the beaches and taking your mom with you, northeast to east southeasterly winds, not too bad here. Waves are really nice into this weekend ahead, approaching 1.5 meters in height. Conditions are smooth within the nearshore areas. So all you sandbathers like myself, hey, we're going to be enjoying the forecast into this weekend if you are heading to the beaches. Mother's Day is going to be a great one. Just be mindful of the heat, quick passing showers, and just enjoying the moment while you can.
Stay hydrated too. It's
yes,
gonna be hot.
definitely.
All right, thank you so much, Sigoni. Well, still to come in the news. Meet the Trinbagonian whose travel videos are going viral.
How much does a funeral go for these days? I guarantee the figure you're thinking is way smaller than the actual cost. Because even though life is priceless, death is real expensive. But CUNA Caribbean's Family Indemnity Plan can help for things like sudden funeral costs, plus the other bills left behind that could threaten your finances. And imagine, for a monthly payment of less than $70, you could cover up to 9 family members. And you don't have to take a medical exam to sign up. So don't stick. Get the Family Indemnity Plan. Why? Because it's a good thing. Trust me. CUNA Caribbean Insurance. For all people. Terms and conditions apply.
Struggling to have a baby? Trinidad and Tobago IVF and Fertility Center presents Conceiving Hope, the IVF event, May 16th at Sapa, San Fernando. Discover new medical advances in IVF, the most effective fertility treatment today. Enjoy free consultations with qualified fertility doctors and nurses. Conceiving Hope is free, but you must register early. Visit www.trinidadivf.com or call TTIVF at 615-BABY.
Super month-end savings is here, only at Passat's The Food King. Stock up and save more on Flavorite ice cream, 3.2 liters, 2 buckets, just $95. Fruta Cool Kids juice, 200 ml, 8 packs, just $20. Nutrimix premium flour, 10 kilograms, now $68. Halal minced beef, 2 pounds, only $50. Swiss macaroni, 400 grams, 4 packs, just $20. Halal lamb leg slice, 3 pounds, just $100. Swirl detergent, 875 grams, 2 packs for $25. Plus more savings in store. Sale ends May 10th or while stocks last.
Quality value, that's our way. A real Versace, we're here to stay. The Food King Versace.
Looking for a completely natural way to supplement your family's diet? Only BioStrath gives your body more than 60 of the essential nutrients it needs every day in a product that's 100% natural, so it's more easily absorbed. For stronger immunity, enhanced focus, increased energy and stamina, and faster recovery. BioStrath, get what you need naturally.
Minister Dr. Lakram Bodo says there are no confirmed cases of hantavirus in Trinidad and Tobago, but the Health Ministry is monitoring the situation closely after 8 cases and 3 deaths were linked to a cruise ship headed to the Canary Islands. The ministry says surveillance for unusual respiratory illnesses remains active. Consultant physician Dr. Joel Tiloxing is urging the public to take rodent control seriously, warning that hantavirus can spread through rat urine and droppings. Dr. Tiloxing says people should avoid sweeping dry droppings and ensure enclosed spaces are well ventilated.
A police constable has been charged in connection with the disappearance of marijuana exhibits from the Chaguanas Police Station strong room.
Stefan Khan appeared before court today, charged with misbehavior in public office, and was granted bail of $350,000 with surety. However, he remains at the Eastern Correctional Rehabilitation Center until the current state of emergency ends. Police say the incident stems from evidence stored at the station after a police shooting in Central Division on February 24th. Investigators later discovered the evidence bag seal had been broken and the cannabis blocks replaced with packages filled with wood and a ceramic tile. CCTV footage allegedly showed Khan removing the exhibits and swapping them with the tampered packages. The DPP advised that Khan be charged for the alleged theft of exhibits valued at $242,000.
All right, well, it's time to head on over now to Jassy for a look at sport. Jassy, there's just a little over a month left before the World Cup begins.
Yeah, and I'm keeping count, 34 days to be exact. And 34 is the big number in tonight's bit of World Cup trivia. Can you guess why? And every Friday, we give you the big ticket items in sport for the weekend. Today is no different. Stick around. Sport will be right back.
On Mother's Day, Sunday, May 10th, bring your mothers, sisters, wives, and the entire family to the luxurious, specially decorated Cascadia Hotel Ballroom St. Anne's for this exceptional Mother's Day buffet lunch and show.
From 12 noon, come enjoy a sumptuous buffet lunch prepared by the world-class chefs, which include appetizers, desserts, cocktails, and more. Then, from 2 p.m.,
mothers will be serenaded by the Caribbean stars live. Wendell McBurney,
Patricia Smith,
and soca star Sanel Dempster.
And the King Weston Rollins with love songs and gospel. Early bird tickets available now at $500
at Cascadia Hotel St. Anne's, Crosby St. James, Cache Port of Spain, Michelle's Fashions Arima, Sona Jewelers, Chaguanas San Pinal, Bellini's Truck Mart San Fernando, and online at islandetickets.com.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chaguanas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
Welcome back. It's time for sport now. Well, both players and administrators concur that the Secondary Schools Football League must run for a longer period. That view was expressed by Girls Player of the Year Nikita Gosain, among others, as the SSFL celebrated the end of the season.
SSFL Girls Player of the Year Nikita Gosain scored an unmatched 35 goals in the 2025 season as her team ran to a girls intercol and Big Five double, sharing the latter after the incomplete season was consolidated. The 16-year-old recent RC launched trialist, who may have well surpassed the 40-goal haul of 2024, made the point that more higher-level football was required to aid girls' football development.
I really wanted to play Premiership last year. It would have been a better challenge for the girls that are playing because in our zone it's really easy and it's not really challenging, so we have to find practice match against boys teams to try and help us keep up our work. But I really hope that they could change it to Premiership and give the girls a better challenge to make the football better for the girls.
Gosain topped the top 5 of teammate and goalkeeper Akila Marisho, Five Rivers Secondary's Hakima Goodridge and Jada Herbert, and St. Joseph's Caitlin Dawant. Like Gosain, Boys Player of the Year Michael Clement was a constant, consistent presence in Naparima College's run to a national and zonal treble. With 12 intercol and Premier Division clean sheets, he beat St. Benedict's College's Adam Pear, Presentation College's Isaiah Jacob, St. Anthony's College's Mordecai Ford, and Signal Hill's Kyle James to the top prize, the first goalkeeper in recent memory to cop the award.
It just can't even speak at this moment because it's just breathtaking for me. It just a step in my path to greatness, I guess.
The 2025 Secondary Schools Football League began on Saturday, September 11th. It ended with the SSFL abandoning its outstanding fixtures in April, including 3 finals, marking another season mired by administrative issues. As a consequence, Peeville and Signal Hill shared the Girls' Big Five title, while Naparima College and Signal Hill shared the Under-14 and Under-17 titles. In 2024, its Diamond Jubilee, the league was again marked by controversy within and beyond the touchline. Still, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, David Naked, renewed calls for a longer season.
Secondary School Football League cannot run anymore for 3 months. It cannot run anymore for 3 months. Waste of time. You cannot develop football players, boys and girls, in 3 months. I proposed to the President, and he was very amenable, that this league should go for 6-7 months of the year. Give people time to work. Coaches and players work on their game, develop them.
Jovan Ravello, CNC3 Sport. Interesting thoughts. Let's switch to cricket now. Reigning champions Queen's Park Cricket Club started their defense of the Trinidad T20 Festival with a 29-run win over Presal on Thursday afternoon. QPCC's Grenadian import Andre Fletcher stamped his class, and Presal could not respond.
In a match where the rain had its say on proceedings by reducing each innings to 17 overs, Queen's Park lost Kyle Ramdu early. Kadeem Allen didn't last too long either. Marlon Richards with his second wicket. That brought Andre Fletcher into the arena, and he swung his bat like a mace. The Spiceman hits 4 sixes and 2 fours in his 52 from just 27 balls, sharing a 54-run third-wicket stand with Tion Webster, who scored 18. But that combination ended when Webster was caught by former Parkite Camilo Karimbokas. Fletcher was gone 18 runs later, Marlon Richards finishing with 3 for 26. Queen's Park player coach Darren Bravo and Joshua Davis consolidated the back end to see Queen's Park to 153 for 6. Bravo was not out on 18 with Davis on 25 from 9. Presal's pursuit of a revised 158 was in tatters as they were 17 for 3, with the wickets of Justin Jagisa, Sachin Sicharan and Aram Banki all back in the pavilion. Abdul Rahim topping with 2 of the 3 wickets. 12 runs later, Karim Bokas made his departure on 2, leaving Presal 29 for 4. A mini recovery involved Guyana's Akshay Prasad, who made 30, and Nick Ramlal, who made 18. But with Presal on 60, Prasad was out for 25. Vishan Jagisa joined Ramlal to lift them to 95, but Jagisa departed for a Presal top score of 30. His wicket triggered a 4-wicket slide, which eventually saw Presal close on 123 for 8, losing by 29 runs. Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
In the second match of yesterday's doubleheader, Jamaican Kenna Lewis scored the first 2026 Trinidad T20 Festival century as Central Sports Yorkshire beat Prison by 87. Again, here's Ian Wason.
Bowling first, the TNT Prison Service had early success getting Antonio Gomez at 11 for 1. But what followed next was not on the script. Antiguan Kofi James was joined by Jamaican Kenna Lewis in a 134-run partnership for Central Sports Yorkshire from just 10 overs. James and Lewis plundered Prison's bowlers, both batsmen refusing the spectator role. James, fresh from 4-day cricket mode for Leeward Islands, switched seamlessly to T20 format and hit 13 fours and 2 sixes. Meanwhile, Lewis counted 10 maximums in his innings. James was out on 77 with Central Sports at 145 for 2. But Lewis continued in the same vein, even though he lost Ethan Gibson soon after James's departure. Vikash Sokai scored 14 runs, out of a partnership of 81 with Lewis, who brought up his 100 during that time. He was out for 115 as Central Sports Yorkshire closed on 241 for 6 from their 20 overs. In reply, Prison's Sidel Diaz flew to 17 in 7 balls, but played on against Alien Ratcha, Prison's 20 for 1. The very next ball, Ratcha had Rickson Maniram gone for a duck. 20 for 2, Ratcha finished on 3 for 26. Stefan Warwood joined the informed Zachary Raghunath, but only added 7 before falling to Anil Ruplal. Prison's next 3 partnerships saw them amass 80 runs in a mini recovery, but the required run rate continued to climb, making the target seem like Mount Everest. Raghunath was finally dismissed in the 19th over for 72 as Prisons closed on 154 for 7, 87 runs short. Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
And now the countdown to World Cup 2026 is on. FIFA continues to build the excitement from a musical perspective. The soundtrack to tonight's World Cup countdown is called Illuminate. It is the fourth single from the official FIFA World Cup 2026 album. Its release comes 34 days before the start of the global showpiece. The collaboration between Canadian and Palestinian singer-songwriters Jesse Reyes and Ileana fuses alternative R&B, global pop and Middle Eastern influence in a moment that resonates across cultures. Reyes is donating her artist's fee from Illuminate to charitable causes, while Ileana announces that she will do the same. And in further recognition of 34 days to the World Cup, 34 kilometers per hour was the joint fastest top speed reached by any player at the 2018 edition, bringing numbers in that epic group match against Spain, in which he also became the oldest World Cup hat-trick hero. At the same tournament, a 24-year-old Croatian Ante Rebic tipped the speed gun at the same figure against Denmark during the memorable World Cup in Russia. Yeah, those numbers pale in comparison to my top speed. Now it's time to look into our crystal ball for what's on this weekend in sport.
Ready, set, road. This weekend, the 36th annual Eastern Credit Union 5K and 15K road races take over the East-West corridor with two starting points. At the La Jolla complex for the 15K, the 5K begins at the Etihad Savannah. Both races start at 5 a.m. and end at La Jolla on Sunday. So if you're not part of the road running crowd, go spur the runners onto the finish. The Midnight Marathon is a bit earlier. They're off at 12:01, so make it a lime or join the line around the Queen's Park Savannah this Sunday morning. The Trinidad and Tobago Hockey Federation's Outdoor League continues with matches in the men's and women's divisions. It's a full weekend of action on the turf in Tacarigua, so pick a time between 10 and 7 on Saturday and Sunday to go see the nation's best compete. The Frankie Boudram Raceway is also alive with the sound of tires burning, with event number 2 of the Drift Games on Saturday and the second installment of this season's No Prep Drag Racing Series on Sunday. The Trinidad T20 Festival continues with Group A on Saturday. Presal plays the FIAL Under-19s at 3 p.m. and Central Sports Yorkshire meets QPCC at 7 p.m. On Sunday, Group B's fixtures feature a clash between Victoria and Mary Boys at 3 p.m. Powergen meets Clark Road at 7. All matches are at the Queen's Park Oval. So that's where to go and what to do in this weekend's Sport Wrap. Jovan Ravello, CNC3 Sport.
To end things, Victor Garcia tricks his way into tonight's Sport High. Having already scored one goal to cut a 2-0 deficit in half against Osasuna, Levante's Victor Garcia endeavored to supply the leveler. And when the initial cross was rejected by the Osasuna defense, it came right back to him in an identical position. With an identical body shape, he faked the cross and went for goal instead. If at first you don't succeed, try the goal. Victor Garcia cleverly gets tonight's Sport High. That is it for sport tonight.
34 days to go.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Jassy. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Plumbing problems? Don't guess. Call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646. Proud to be serving Trinidad and Tobago for over 20 years. We do it all. Maintenance and repairs, new construction, sewer lines, inspection, drain cleaning, leak detection. We are licensed and insured, so call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646.
Here's a look at tonight's regional roundup.
A Florida jury has convicted 4 men in the 2021 assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse, finding them guilty of hiring former Colombian soldiers to storm his home. The defendants, including South Florida security firm owners and a logistics coordinator, face life in prison. Guyana made its official stand at the International Court of Justice today, dismissing Venezuela's claim to the Essequibo region as unbelievable. Attorney General Anil Nandlal told the court that Venezuela's 60-year claim to two-thirds of Guyana's territory has blighted and burdened the nation's development. Guyana's legal team argues that the 1899 arbitral award remains a perfect and final settlement. And CARICOM and Spain have signed a cooperation pact delivering €400,000 to strengthen Caribbean health governance, pandemic response and disaster preparedness. Jesse Ramdale with CNC3 News.
It's time for another break. We have more news for you up next.
Dress like you mean business. At The Working Woman, we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT.
This is
more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
I've always wanted to be a mom. Always wanted to plan when it was going to happen.
What's wrong?
I'm pregnant. I haven't told Andrew yet.
You're not thinking about getting back together with him.
If you need me, I'm just a phone call away, okay?
Doesn't it bother you not having a plan?
Life's got a way of showing you what your next move's gonna be.
Season 2 of Sullivan's Crossing. Only on CNC3.
From roaming the streets of Caracas to exploring the Great Pyramids of Giza.
Tonight we bring you the story of a Trinbagonian engineer who isn't just visiting the world's wonders, he's going viral while doing it.
The hottest attraction in Rio right now isn't the Christ Redeemer statue. It's just a few minutes away from some of Brazil's most famous sites. Over the last few months, thousands have flocked to one of Rio's largest, most densely populated favelas to get one specific video for their Instagram feed. And where there's a trend, there's a Trini. Andrews Belfonte's video has gained over 300,000 views on Instagram. But getting the shot wasn't exactly a walk in the park.
So they actually screen you before you enter to make sure you don't have like cameras in your glasses and all that kind of stuff. You know, and then you enter there, and literally men with machine guns, as I said, in and out. You have guys sitting on a table with gun at the side, gun in the waist, all about. So you're just there going through this alley, and then boom, there's the door. You open the door, and there's the famous shot.
Now for this Trinbagonian who reps the red, white and black wherever and whenever he can, it's another experience to check off his ever-expanding bucket list. From making what some would call questionable food decisions,
Frog just like chicken.
To exploring some of the wonders of the world, Belfonte has been traveling for years now, doing things some only dare to dream about, and producing content that has the internet captivated. This video, taken while on safari in Tanzania, has racked up over 150 million views, and counting, leaving many asking, what about the splinters? Belfonte tells CNC3 News the video's reach has gone way beyond what he expected. But how does he get the time to do all of this while balancing a full-time job as an engineer? Well, it's all about making the maths and maximizing days off, especially when there are public holidays.
We had the Eid holiday and we had the Spiritual Baptist holiday. So I just took the week in between and I just traveled before. So I capitalized on the 2 Saturday and Sundays on either end basically. So for let's say 5 days vacation, you get 13 days overall.
Ren Pernell, CNC3 News.
I
love his maths.
I have to get him to work on my vacation.
We all need to utilize his maths. But, you know, interesting videos. I look forward to seeing his content.
Certainly.
But Caribbean music is getting a major spotlight on one of the world's most recognized music platforms. Kes the Band made its debut on NPR's Tiny Desk concert series with a high-energy set recorded at its Washington headquarters.
The band performed a medley of hits backed by live steel pan from Dane and Danielson Galston.
The performance also featured St. Lucian singer Ted St. John and 2026 Calypso monarch Terry Lyons.
Lead singer Kes described the moment as a dream, years in the making, and said the performance was about showcasing Caribbean culture and music on a global stage. Let's leave you with part of the performance.